there are 9 signs that you're on the pathway to your purpose. The first thing you have to do is you have to discover your purpose. I'm going to go over here to my trusty blackboard because it helps me so much, and I'm going to write down all 9 points so we won't get to the end and somebody says, but you didn't cover the 9. I covered the 9. Okay, so you have to discover your purpose. So this isn't, by the way, discover your purpose is not one of the 9. That's just the category. You have to discover your purpose. How do you discover your purpose? You discover your purpose by recognizing that on the way to your purpose, you're going to have pain and problems. That is the first way, that's the first way you know you're on the pathway to purpose. Why? Because disruption always follows intention. It's like a biblical principle. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's God's intention. And the earth was, that word was, the word became. Became without form and void and darts upon the face of the deep. Disruption followed God's intention. Why? Because we are made in the image of God, and God is showing us the pattern. There's going to be pain and problems and peril and protagonist associated with you when you are in your purpose. If nobody's making fun of you, nobody's calling you names, nobody's saying you're this, that, and the third, and you don't have any problems and you're on the easy street, you are not on the path of your purpose. The path of your purpose is not an easy street. It's a hard way. It's a long way. It's got potholes and thorns and thistles and briars and danger. There's pain and problems. Like if you're not facing any pain and problems, you're on the wrong road. The next one is you're going to have is going to be your passionate pursuit. You're going to have a passionate pursuit. In other words, you're going to love what you're pursuing. You're going to love what you're doing. You're going to love what you're pursuing. So, even though there's pain, even though there's problems, you're still passionate. Even though there's pain, even though there's problems, you still love it. You can't wait to do it. Yes, this is hard. Yes, this is challenging. Yes, I have haters. Yes, I have people who are dissenters. But I love this so much, I'm going to do it anyway. That's how you know you're on the path. If you can pursue passionately in the presence of pain and problems, you're on the right path. Not only is it a passionate pursuit, but you also have, this is so good, you have a proven proficiency. What do you mean proven proficiency? That means you've already demonstrated that you're good at it. You've developed some skills in the arena. You're actually good at the thing. God does not hate his children. He's not going to call us to do something and create us to do something that we hate and we're not good at. That would be like the ultimate punishment. The next thing you have to do, because all of us have to do it, is we must develop ourselves for that purpose. Develop ourselves for that purpose. Now, when I talk about developing ourselves for that purpose, developing ourselves is also not one of the 9, right? Okay, so I know I'm on the pathway to my purpose when I develop myself. And that means first and foremost, I'm going to adjust my mindset. Why? Why am I going to adjust my mindset? I'm just going to put MS. I'm going to adjust my mindset. Why am I going to adjust my mindset? Because when God sets you on the pathway of your purpose, he has to oftentimes show you that you are not your identity. What does that mean? You are not the person that all the people all your life told you you're not. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not tall enough. You're not handsome enough. You're not strong enough. You're not educated enough. You're just not enough, bro. And the reality is, all of us, when we step into our purpose, we have to forget who we've not been being so we can step into who God called us to be. We have to apply our skill set. We have to apply our skill set. Isn't it interesting how this, I don't know how many of y'all have siblings, but I've got 6 brothers. And we're all similar, but we're all very different. It's like I think about me and Jeff. We're the oldest too. Jeff's the oldest. I'm the second oldest. And Jeff loves stuff that I don't love, and I love stuff that Jeff don't love. And all I'm saying is, your difference doesn't make you less than, it just makes you different than. And so the things you're good at, instead of trying to strengthen your weaknesses so you can be more like somebody else, strengthen your strengths and apply your skill sets. Do the stuff you're good at. The scripture says, a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before the great men. So why not just take the gifts that you have and strengthen those talents with skill set? Okay, you're tracking. And then we're on the pathway once we acquire a tool set. What is a tool? A tool is leverage. A tool gives me the ability to maximize my output with minimal input. So what does that do? That saves me time, it saves me effort, it saves me energy. We just had a question this morning here in the studio, like, is using AI to assist you in writing a book cheating? No, it's a tool. A computer's a tool, a phone's a tool. Like, when I was a kid, the tools we had were a lot harder to use. They were called encyclopedias, right? And there were all these books, and you had to figure out what the thing was and what the alphabetical order. Like, if you said alphabetical order to like a seventh grader today, would they even know what you mean, right? So you have to acquire your tool set. When you discover your purpose, you're not ready for it. You're just aware of it. Once you become aware of it, now it's your job to make yourself ready for it. You got to adjust your mindset. You got to stop saying, well, this is just who I am. This is just all I know. This is just how I do it. It's called growth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Lastly, we deploy ourselves in our purpose. And when we deploy ourselves in our purpose, we do that with, you engage expeditiously. What does that mean? You engage expeditiously. What does that mean? Expeditiously, like in a hurry. I don't know if y'all read this slow enough to see this, but it says when all the men of Israel heard Goliath, they ran, every man ran, and his heart failed because of Goliath. But it says that when David got ready to fight Goliath, he ran also, but he was running in a different direction. See, when you understand you're on the pathway of your purpose and you've already discovered your purpose, you've already developed yourself for that purpose, I think David had this mindset of, God sent the prophet to anoint me to be the king. I am not yet the king, therefore I am invincible. Goliath got nothing for me. Why? Because God's purpose in my life has not yet been fulfilled. And so the thing that caused everybody else to run away caused David to run toward the giant. David ran toward the problem that everybody else was running from. How do you know you're in the pathway of your purpose? Because you deploy yourself expeditiously in the direction of a problem that other people run from.